guitar profiler Tonestack Talks. Nice to see you again, Mr. Thomas Dill. Welcome.
Nice to see you too.
We are looking at episode number 20, I guess, in season 3. And we're still in Let Me Throw That Rig at You season by showing each other some rigs. And maybe let's start with this one, because you said an old Hamer from the 80s.
Oh, it's an old Hamer from the 80s. So there comes some stuff in mind. Steve Stevens is dancing around in some Hamer with some, I think, a red Hamer. He had a red Hamer.
Yeah, and Hamer was it was basically like Les Paul style guitars, but with the different body shape, and
double cut.
They had this Hamer. This was called Hamer Special, and there was another Hamer which was like more like Strat idea, but with the extreme horns and stuff like that. I don't know how that was called. And Gary Moore was also playing at some point some Hamers, and they had this Floyd Rose as well, but still the Les Paul type of tone wood and basic construction. To be honest, this one is not.
You did some work on that.
Sort of. After one NAMM show, it's a couple of years ago, maybe 17, 18, it was 2017 or 18, I went to Guitar Center at La Brea and found this Hamer in the used guitar section. And it was, I just took it and was totally blown away by it. And then I was totally blown away by the price, because it was just $280 or so. And I found out that's Hamer XTC series, because someone in between bought the Hamer brand and had in, I think it was Korea, built Hamers under the traditional specs, and it's mahogany and it's really, really heavy, and the tone is really there. And I was totally blown away. It was set up in an unusable way, and the guys in the shop were so nice to give me a screwdriver and stuff like that. So thank you for the trust again. And I just fiddled around with it and found out that it's really, really a very nice guitar. But as it was a used one, I couldn't buy it, because for used guitars, it's by the law, they have to keep it for 30 days before they can sell it. And it was only in there for 10 days, so I had no chance to take it. But I did some research then and found at some weird dealer in Germany an offer of a Hamer XT series for 250 euros. That's actually this one here. The neck was totally weird, and I had to work a lot on the neck here, on the truss rod. Changed the machine heads and changed to Seymour Duncan P rails, which is a combination of P90 and humbucker. And I put in the pull pods and the Duesenberg vibrato. So, and that's.
And you have this fender thing on the neck, on the headstock.
This one here.
And
no. That's just a stupid microphone table thing. Excuse me, guys, for slaughtering this. No, because I was recording some stuff. Because you can put a camera on top here,
Yeah, okay. I have one on my cheap Höfner bass to get more sustain. And that works really.
And that works really as well. I was really amazed. And another thing is, this was back heavy. So when I was playing sitting, it fell always like this. Okay. And so I hit two birds with one stone, if you're still allowed to say that. And so it's a little bit weird, but you can put this camera thing on top here, and
so you get more sustain when you put this camera.
even more sustained, right? Right, because, but that's not the point why we're here, because I was fiddling around with some rigs, of course, and somebody was complaining about the modulation effects with Profiler. And then I just found, okay, there's the chorus device in the Profiler, and there's also a phaser, and I know them for years, and I thought, okay, yeah. But somehow I just activated the phaser and the chorus at the same time, and the tone was screaming for. Do you remember?
Yes, but I don't know the song. Yes. Absolutely.
So, and that was just by coincidence, because I was fiddling around, and then I heard this playing a chord. Oh, that's it.
Yes.
So very,
Definitely.
very, how would you say, significant, and you can sense the song from just this one chord with that sound. And I was so amazed that I suddenly found something like this, because usually I'm not so mainstream. So let's have a look what we got here.
Oh, okay.
But that's basically pretty simple, because this one here is my, this always for everything rig. And this one here is just a variation of this, and it's just the phaser, and it is the preset, the Trower, this one, the Robin Trower preset. I just checked it out, and then here for the vintage chorus, it's just the CE3, because that's basically how this whole thing started. A gentleman was complaining about this preset, and so that's basically it. If you switch these off, C is 3 only, C1, a little bit, and then put the phaser to it.
Amazing.
Just out of the box. You always have to hit them in the right way, the full bar chord. So yeah.
How would it sound if you change the position of vintage chorus and phaser wipe? Just for me.
That's just for you, of course. No problem.
Just grab it and yeah.
Yeah. So let me see.
Not a big difference, but I think with the phaser wipe in front of the chorus, you get this quack, this wah quack sound. Yeah, this is filtered. Yeah, the wow.
Right. That's true. And let's see the rate. Yeah, I increased it a little bit in comparison to the preset, that was everything. And let me see if we take it a little bit further. It gets a little bit too... That's how I have it in my ear. And
Yeah, you have the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot for me.
yeah, and it was so amazing because I haven't heard this song for ages, even with all the U2 and the Sphere shenanigans going on on the internet, you know, with all the songs. But I've never heard this song for ages, and I just heard this chorus combination, and it was like there, and I thought, okay, that's a candidate for the Rick thing, because it's so simple. It's basically built in. Yeah, because I wouldn't use a phaser and the chorus at the same time. So,
yeah.
Would you think of something like that? I mean, you experiment a lot with the special.
I do experiment with different modulation types, but I'm thinking I didn't use the univibe style phaser and a normal chorus. So yeah, great.
Yeah, and
great idea.
yeah, and I tried first I had this one, which was let me see, the how was it called? The right mouse. It was phaser vibe. Yeah, the Univibe Vintage, and then the Univibe Robin Trower setting. And the Vintage just didn't do it, but the Trower one was immediately.
But when I'm starting with this Univibe style, I always start with the Trower setting.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I mean, you did one a tone tips thing about the Robin Trower stuff.
Sound, and this is really nailing.
Yeah, and now I remember what triggered that, because I read something about him. Somebody was saying, I think it was on Music Radar, that he's so incredibly loud on stage, Mr. Robin Trower, and that not many people would expect that, but he had two Fender Twins and was blowing them totally because he was so loud. And I thought about your tone tip thing with the phaser, and that's why I chose that one. And then there it was. Okay, so shout out to The Edge, shout out to Robin Trower, shout out to you. That's this one. Yeah. But that's not everything, because that's why I have the Hamer here. Some gentleman from the last podcast was mentioning that he was wondering what Tonestack, liquid profiling wise, would work with the Diezel amp, and so I looked into this briefly, and we of course have to, are in the guessing area here, because what do you expect from a Diezel amp, Thomas? Have you ever played a real one?
No, unfortunately not. I heard many, and I really like the tones of the Diezel amps, and when I'm taking a Diezel profile and twisting it into something different, or adding a tone stack. It's not like liquid profiling, it's just adding a tone stack. I would take some modern tone stacks, so maybe the Friedman, maybe a Bogner, or maybe Soldano, or the Rectifier. So these are the four I would take. And then just turning the knobs, trying how the sound comes out of the speakers and what you want to have, which sound you want to have. Would you have a mid scoop sound? Would you have more mids, an old schoolish sound? and or do you like to have some more high frequencies, modern high frequencies? So that's the thing, just theoretical.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this as well because okay, have I ever played a Diezel, a real one? No, at least not a Herbert. I might have played or tried a VH1. No, a what was that model called? Something like V whatever. It was, you know, at number one in the guitar store, but you couldn't crank it, and I was just playing around with it and didn't really get how the stuff worked because the tone stacks they work with each other and are independent in a way, and it's pretty complex the thing. But they sounded great, and I think it was in 2013 when we were with Kemper at the Music Messe, one of the RIP. Let's rest in peace, Frankfurt Music Messe. Right across the aisle, we were on the top room, which was pretty empty, so there was a lot of space between the booths, and there was the Diezel booth, and there was not too much going on there in terms of volume and stuff. But one day somebody was in that. They had this demo room which was soundproof. Somebody was in there and was really cranking away, and I heard this enormous oomph and this bottom end and this very tight treble, and I thought, yeah, actually that's the Diezel tone, you know, from records and stuff like that. So that was it, and that I had in mind today when I was trying to find something that would you know, go into this direction at least. Here I found a Diezel rig by Guido Bunkstock, which I have edited indeed, and I don't know where it comes from which Guido pack, and how much I did edit this, but it sounds like this. With a single coil. It's not bad, it's kind of tight, but it's not really the thing, this ultra tight and this growl, but the tight growl that you could expect from, at least I expect from that Diezel special tone. So let's have a look with the humbucker again before we compare. So that is the pure thing, as pure as I could remember. And here's what I did with the help of some liquid profiling with the Tonestacks.
Okay.
Also with the single coil pickup. Pretty tight. And it stays pretty tight. And I think the bright cap here comes in very handy, because if you open up the pickup, it doesn't really increase too much the treble.
Yeah.
It just adds some more thunder and some pumping. This is now the humbucker. Just that's now single coil mode, the P90 on the front here. For a neck pickup also still pretty tight. So let's have a look at what I did there, and see what kind of tone stack I used. So here is the edited one, the Plus 03, and this is the original one I found with not too much edits in there. You see here Tonestack wise, not much. It's the Kemper generic. Definition is important by these modern boutique amps. It's 8.3 here. And it's kind of tight. It's kind of getting low. The punch is not as clear and as defined as I expected it. So from this, I went to this one here. And what I did is, of course, you can see I increased a little bit of the definition and went for, after checking out a lot of stuff, for the Mesa Boogie, the orange Tonestack, not the red one. The red one is the one which is usually used for the more distorted channels. And the orange one seemed to work here better in terms of, you know, the overall frequency response, and you know, you can increase the gain anyways. And that's pretty tight, I think. So, and it responds amazingly well to the volume knob as well. So I think for ultra tight, very rhythmic stuff with low tuned drums, I think this would make a lot of sense. And yeah, that's basically what I did, except for some additional things which I usually never thought of to do. But for this one, I came up with that, and you do it quite often, that you take that you put in a high cut for the cabinets. And in this case, because the treble stuff and the fullness and the roundness is a lot of depending on how far and how nasty the cabinet goes, what kind of speakers are in there. And so I found that, for example, having this one here as it came out of the box, oops. And it's amazing how much this does, because usually the effect you get when you use a ribbon mic, for example, which is usually problematic when you have such a when you have loud amps, they usually are not able to stay clear and give you that warm tone. That's what you get in this case when you just engage the high cut, and also what you could do, which I didn't. Try a little bit about with the pure cabinet, because with this one you could take this microphone effect
sizzles.
The sizzles out of. And then in the end there's enough high frequency stuff that you could push it afterwards when you put it in the mix, and make sure that, you know, this tone will sit nicely with the drums and the bass and stuff like that. So that's my take on which Tonestack to use for a Diezel profile, this Diezel profile. And if you're interested, I'm willing to find out if this is usable for us. I'm sure if it's from one of Guido's packs, he'd be generous enough to allow us to publish this one. But I will find out, and you can find it then on the Rig Exchange as well under the LMT tray moniker. Let me throw that rig at you. And then, yeah, just try what you think about it and let us know how it works for you. And if you have more questions like this, just let us know. And Thomas, if you have more questions about this right now, let me know as well.
Not now. Not now. I'm curious but I think it will expand this episode to check out different tone stacks. So yeah, you tried already different tone stacks, and as you say, this is the one that you like to have, and that this one brings you that growling, low frequency, controlled low frequency Diezel sound. So it's fine. So it's really fine for me, and no questions, no further questions.
Okay, and this reminded me as well. I don't know the riffs, but if you're familiar with that unpopular some kind of monster album of Metallica, are you?
No.
The one which came with the movie as well.
Yeah.
Where they were struggling with
I know that. I know the movie.
Jason Newsted and some therapy things, and there was one track. I don't remember the title even. That started like this: detuned, low-tuned guitar, neck pickup, pretty clean, closed volume, and then the typical Metallica stuff happened, and I was pretty amazed by this one here. This and that also rang the bell with me in the conjunction of thinking about this Diezel amp. So yeah, stuff like that. If you want to play stuff like that, if you need to play stuff like that, if you want to try this one out, and I will throw this one over to Thomas, and we'll see what he thinks about it, maybe in one of the next episodes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So then that's so much from me, from my side for now, and we will see you next time when I'm sure Thomas is throwing something at me or presenting something to me. All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.